So what's the difference between stateful set and deployment?
Yes, deployment is like it uses the strategy to allow and upgrade the images without any downtime. For example, means like when the it serves the traffic, when the new port serves the traffic, and it simultaneously it deletes on the old ports and it creates a new port and a new image, and we get the new ID for this. And and in stateful set, like it's a sticky image uses persistent volume, wherein we can say if I have the user ID, the ID which I have created the pod ID, and the pod ID will be the unique ID for this. And for example, if we have any critical data that like it is having a stateful volumes whatever data is goes to the stateful set, and we have the user means like image ID for this unique image ID for stateful set.
Hmm. And what is the daemon set?
Daemon set it creates a copy of pod in a node.
Okay. And mhm. So in the production environment, suppose I have deployed my Jenkins application. Okay. So I want to
Yes.
access Jenkins application as a URL. So which service we have to use in the production environment?
Uh, uh, we can use as a load balancer as for the Jenkins, or as we can use a cluster ID.
Okay. So what's the difference between cluster IP and load balancer service?
Yeah, cluster IP is this can be used within a cluster, and load balancer it can expose outside the cluster. Means like if I want to access the URL, if a user want to access the URL from the URL from outside the cluster, then we can use a load balancer. If the cluster IP, if I want to use a cluster IP for it is used for like for example for the database purpose, then we can use a cluster IP for the internal purpose.
Okay. So can we explain how traffic flow from inside pod to the outside the network, like from user to the inside the pod, how traffic flow?
Yeah, we are using ingress controller, yeah, Nginx ingress controller, and we have the service. For example, if we have created the pod, and then service we have created the pod and the service labels and selectors. We have used match label and selectors, and then it goes to the ingress objects, wherein we have set the rules, and then again in the ingress controller we have set the subnet. We have added the subnet and the constant IP that works through the services means like it gives the services that which helps to get the constant endpoint IP with the load balancer.
Okay. So in your environment, which cluster you have managed, like managed cluster or bare metal?
Yeah, we have managed cluster.
Okay. So what's the difference between managed cluster and bare metal cluster?
Bare metal cluster is on premises, wherein we on premises cluster mean we need to manage the master node also, and also worker node. And as in managed cluster, managed cluster is a cloud based, means like whatever whatever is the master node, everything will be managed by the cloud, and worker node will be working from our end.
Okay. So what's the advantage by using managed cluster over the bare metal?
Yeah, managed cluster, suppose we can see like in bare metal cluster we have we need to work on master node also. And if anything means like master node we get means like the budget, we can see like we need to pay for the master node also everything. And if you we can see that like you have the less pay on this master on this managed cluster.
Okay. So what are the all the component of master node?
Yes, in Masternode we have Cube API server, and Cube scheduler, Cube controller, and Cube SCD. Cube API server is Cube API is the component which communicate with each other, all the other components. And when the user when we run the command Cube CTL, and hits to the Cube API, and then Cube API checks like if any manifest file, if any data that is available in HCD. If there is no, then it will create a new, and then this data will this HCD will check like will again give it to a Cube API, and then it will send Cube API will check with the scheduler, and the scheduler will check which node is available for better health with healthy. This scheduler, what it does, like it sets the port to that node, that node, and then Cube controller is responsible for the controlling the replication and replica set like that. And then we can see and Cube scheduler, Cube controller, and Cube SRE. These are the components in the uh,
Okay. And what are the
master node.
component of worker node?
Yeah, in worker node we have kubelet, and we have kubeproxy and container runtime that we are using container D. And kubelet is the agent which runs a healthy, means like which checks what are the pods which are in ready state and always available healthy, and is the agent which runs healthy. And then if you kubeproxy is the network traffic which sends which expose the internet outside the cluster. And then container runtime is the it runs the container.
Okay. So if my etcd went down, so what are the impact over my existing application?
There is no impact, but if we restart, then there will be an impact to the STD. There will be loss in data.
Okay. And what if my kubelet down? What are the impact over the application?
Yes, it will be impact of the application, because if the kubelet checks which kubelet is the agent which runs the and keeps healthy, and if the kubelet is down, then yes, there is an impact for this application.
Okay. And which container runtime you are using in your infrastructure?
Container D.
Okay. And how many applications running in your cluster?
There are
Like,
multiple applications running in the cluster. As we can say, I have told that like a Ruby on Rails app is there, and Node.js app is there. MySQL is there, Rancher for the managing the cluster, and Veloro we are using. And there are multiple internal applications which is used according to the project architecture.
hmm okay. So what is the range of node port service?
30,000 to 32,767 is the rich port of a node per service that which we can use in the mid of that port.
Mm. And what is config map?
Config map is a non-confidential data which is stored in a key value pair, and we can means like we can store the environment variables and like a volume mounts paths like that we can store in the config map.
hmm Okay. So in your cluster, like which version of cluster you are using?
Now we are using 1.27.7.
So have you done cluster upgradation?
Yes, yes, yes.
How often?
I have done means like 3 months like that.
Okay. So we currently which version you have migrated?
Currently we have migrated 1.27.
Okay. So earlier which version?
Earlier 1.26.
Okay. So how do you plan before cluster upgradation?
Yes, before cross application, we have analyzed like to means like checking how many ports are available, and how many IPs are available, and then we check the any PVCs available on the on the cluster, and then we check any port disruption budget is available. If there is, then we need to take the backup of this also, and internet is available properly, and yes, that are the we
Okay.
check means like before all the
And
before the
what are the
upgrade.
steps to upgrade the cluster? Like how it work?
Yes. Yeah, if I want to upgrade the cluster, and then I means like if we have any ports, and then ports available, uh, we need to migrate into another node as we start means like as we run the command to execute the command. It's Microsoft automatically creates one node for the availability ports which is there, and then it's all the ports which is in the current node will go to the a new node, and then one by one the upgradation will be starting. Yes.
And what is PDB?
Yes.
What is PDB? For disruption budget?
Port
What?
disruption budget. Yes, port disruption budget which is available in all the ports, means like all the